I'm back here with my third and final episode on the Leatherface animatronics for 2023. In our previous video, we unboxed the Spirit Halloween one, which is the one standing to my right. And quite a few months ago, before that, we did the Lowe's animatronic. And so far, the guy next to me is the clear-cut winner out of the two. The packaging is better, the saw is better, and he's just overall a better looking animatronic. However, Halloween clearance shopping brought me a third Leatherface animatronic, this one being from Party City. So today's video we are going to unbox this and review it versus the previous two and see which of the three, in my opinion at least, is the best of the bunch. So for today's video also, we're doing something a little bit differently. I have a mounted on myself camera tripod, kind of like a Steadicam type thing. So the scope of this video is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be so much of me in the picture as it is going to be the items, which is the way that I like it. Admittedly, I rushed through this last Leatherface video because Autumn was in it and I could tell she was not feeling the Leatherface. So that was a rush job on my part. This one will be slow and attention to detail, which is also the way that I like it. So we're looking at the boxes side by side. I gotta say, after seeing this one, the face in person, I am not really crazy about the mask. So the mask to me, it doesn't really resemble Leatherface greatly. It looks more like Mrs. Doubtfire to me. I will be keeping this Leatherface. On a side note, I do not have the Lowe's box here for reference or the Lowe's Leatherface animatronic here for reference because it is in storage and quite possibly will be heading to an eBay listing near you because I'm not sure that I need 3 Leatherface animatronics, and that so far has been the loser of the bunch. Down here tells us assembly is required. No duh. It tells you the adapter is included. You might need some batteries. And so far, the image is the same on both sides of the box. Come around the front here. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. You can see this box is significantly bigger than the Spirit one, especially when you put them side by side. Like if I put them side by side like this, you can clearly tell which one is big. Truth be told, I had problems fitting this Leatherface inside my mom's SUV. It was so big. We're going to get to unboxing it. I thought it'd be a better idea to just video in this fashion. That way you guys get a bird's eye view at the unboxing and everything in between. Okay, so this is a little bit different so far. The directions have been taped to the top of the box. And as we open it, there is the head of the man himself. This is different for sure. A box of contents versus everything just thrown in the box like the last couple. Okay, this Leatherface is actually partially assembled. So here's a better look. I just pulled him out. And I gotta say, this is definitely the best looking Leatherface mask. Everything about it, from the detail on the teeth, the eyes. So far, this is the clear-cut winner out of the 3 that I own. So while we're unpacking this, one thing I do recommend before we start assembling, have a trash handy so you can keep all your garbage, because there will be a lot of plastic pieces and a lot of this kind of stuff that you're going to have to deal with. If you're like me, you don't like messes, and keep a trash nearby so you can just toss all that stuff right into it. So one thing I did notice as I'm sorting through all the parts, the saw, although it is family, it is not the correct color. Again, they failed to get the color properly. You know what's weird? It looks like they almost got it right on the box there, But as you look at the actual saw there, it's a little bit too neon. So again, the saw is not the right color on an animatronic. This is 3 strikes for the animatronic makers this year on the Leatherface animatronic, getting the saw the right color. Okay, so we're going to get to building. We are here on assembly. Step 1, facing the front of the base, insert the bottom of the right shoe. So this is a very important detail here, also on step 1. We've gotten the shoe on. What we're going to do also, snap lock the right leg pole in foam. So there's only one that has foam, one leg with foam and one leg that doesn't have foam. So the one with the foam will be the one that we snap in, which is this for the right. So I'm going to push that through there so I can snap this under and then come back and put the boot back on. So this can be snapped in properly. Right there. Like that. That's done. And then the same for this side. You see, part is somewhat labeled. I'm going to do that in the same fashion. I'll lift this back up so this can snap through there. Normally you hear a snap just like that, and that part's done. We have gone ahead and rolled up all of his clothes into this. So the next thing that it tells us to do is to put his pants on. But it looks like in this situation, as far as this animatronic goes, the pants and the shirt are connected. And I do like that he has a little bit more of a, there's kind of like a fluffiness in this to kind of make him look a little more imposing. Because if you look over there, he does not have that, and you can see what it does to him. So I've slid the pants on and unzipped the front to open it up to be able to have these 2 poles where I'm going to connect the next part, and that's going to be to insert this piece, which is going to join the 2 bars that are right here. And that would be this piece here. Snap lock into the torso frame and control box. So we are at number 5. Then around the side there's this thing, E. It's going to go into the E that we have on the top here. And that will just click right in. So this is going to be our first questionable piece of direction here, which is not matching up with what I have. Insert the rear blister to the back of the hip frame, match red to red, which is fine if you look at the actual animatronic, which is standing upright. However, if you're supposed to match red and green, the actual piece that is supposed to be matched has no indication on it what is red and what is green. So I'm going to assume this is his back side. I'm going to assume this is should have been red. Again, there's no markings, so we're going to go ahead and put this and assume that this is correct for now. Snap that in. So far our progress. Moving right along. Connect the springs located on the head and shoulder frame. So we're on step 9, which is this. I'm going to connect these springs from where they're screwed on there down to this little hook. It just pulls over. So I have gone ahead and changed course. I've changed my mind. I am going to try this, if for no other reason than to make sure that this works before my return window, my opportunity to return this is no longer here. So again, you're just matching end to end. Yep. While I have his shirt unbuttoned, I'm going to run this through. So you can kind of see through here. There's no other way for this to go. If we're connecting H to H, it has to go this way due to the peg that is peeking. Well, his tie's in the way. Due to this peg that's peeking out, this is where you have to stick this. So the arm has to go up, no matter what. The arm has to go up, which is I, and match it to I. While I have his sleeve rolled down to make it that much easier to put on. This will pop in. Always listen for the snap or it's not there like that. Otherwise it's not going to be all the way in. Pull the sleeve up while we're on this side. So this is Leatherface coming together in progress. He is nearing completion. I'm going to get a few more things done. I'm going to grab the other arm. Again, to make sure everything's where it should be. You can kind of see the hole for the arm back in there. You want to make sure it's pulled over to where it is supposed to be. And then I'm going to slip this in. G is this, and J is going to be what the arm connects to on the top. So here we go with G, which we've seen. Goes through there. There it is. That's the click we want. The saw arm will go on. This is actually J. Half of my label peeled off. That's a J, not an I. You could tell if yours is the same way because this is his right hand. Goes on the right side. So again, we'll snap this in. And once it clicks like that, it's in. We'll pull the sleeve up. Okay, now we're on the last thing to do is put his saw together. And this is as simple as connecting, adjust the camera. Sometimes I forget that I'm even filming. I don't know if this is picking up, I hope so. So K goes in K, which is right there. It just snaps in. Same with on top there. M goes in M. Saw blade is M. Goes quite obviously in there. Put it at the side that it's facing. I don't know if this thing snaps in or what it does. I can't even see that high. Okay, it kind of snapped in. Now we are on step 19, which is to fix his tie. I have the apron, which I have put on. If you look at the tie, it's just a Velcro piece. It Velcros right to here on the apron. Not quite sure what the purpose is of that, but it will stick to it like that. And we're about ready to fire this guy up. Okay, I'm not quite sure why he's shaking like that. Why is Leatherface shaped like that? This animatronic's cool. Am I gonna leave it plugged in? Absolutely not. Autumn would totally hate this thing. I'm probably not even gonna leave it on display right now because, again, Autumn is not a fan. Dad's a fan of Leatherface. He's yet to grow on Autumn. Maybe in the next 10 years or so she'll become a fan. But man, now we're gonna compare this guy to the other two Leatherfaces that I own. I don't know if you guys can tell, but he is about a foot taller than the Pretty Lady Leatherface. This thing is huge. It's way taller than I even am. So I do have on my previous Leatherface video from Lowe's, while I'm looking at the one that I have up now, just for quick reference versus the one that I have there. I think the only thing better on that one would probably be the apron. They did a little bit better job on the apron on that one than they did on this one. This one is a little bit more true to the original color. Now look at that. That is pretty terrible when you compare it to this. Those eyes. So, top to bottom, this is your Leatherface animatronic winner of 2023. This one's not even close. I mean, you can clearly see if I back up the size difference in them. This is like Leatherface in his prime, and that would be like an 80-year-old man Leatherface who has shrunk over 1 foot. And it's just like the mask. It looks horrible. It's not terrible. It's not a terrible mask, but when you compare it to this, it looks terrible. Like if I didn't have this animatronic now, I would probably think this is great. And it's not a horrible animatronic. It's a lot better than some of the stuff we've been given throughout the years, but I'm just saying the details, comparing this to that, and then look at this horrible looking thing that I have on the screen there. That saw looks like crap. That hand looks like crap. Like, why are his fingers and his hands have black marks on them? The only thing, like, I thought the Lowe's was a great one, but the only really good thing about it, looking at it now versus these, again, is the apron. Funny how I thought that the Lowe's was a great thing, and the shirt's not even the right texture. And now looking at it here, the mask versus that mask, even the tie. This tie is a little bit more screen accurate than that cartoonish one that they have there. And look at that. You could just tell, like, the quality. The teeth look like they're embedded onto the mask. There is nothing going on with the eyes. And then you look at this. Look at that. They went ahead and they did some shade. They did some shade there. He has this. He has the eyes. If you look around the side of the mask even, there's like a faux leather work here that he would have done to make this. And you look at this, nothing. Then you look at this, and even though this to a certain degree doesn't look too bad, to me it doesn't resemble the 74 Leatherface so much as it resembles the, if you're familiar with the Texas Chainsaw 3D in the beginning, this looks more like the Texas Chainsaw 3D flashback scene than it does the actual 74. And look at the difference here too. And this is another reason why Party City one wins. Because look at the tone of the skin. Nothing going on. And then if you look up here, look what they did. They took time, the attention to details, the dirty skin, the nasty skin, like he had been actually out taking care of Leatherface business, versus hands that are cleaner than mine even. So yeah, attention to detail and overall, man, and sheer size. It's just crazy how big that thing is. And I'm going to stop rambling in a second here. And there I am there thinking that that's a really great animatronic, and it is, considering the lack of Leatherface animatronics that we have. Because let's face it, these are the first 3 Leatherface animatronics in about 20 years. But I'll say it again, there's your winner for 2023. If you're going to get any of the three, and you know what's the funniest thing is I got this one the cheapest. Out of all of the Leatherface animatronics I got, this was half as much as that one. So go figure. All right, now that I have both of these Leatherfaces on display and assembled, just like I did with old pretty lady here, I'm going to go ahead and measure the Party City Leatherface to be accurate. One more time for this one. Well, let's get it through here. One more time for this one. If you saw the last video, you would know that he stands at exactly 6 feet. And now, this giant of animatronic, this might be the largest animatronic that I have, will clock in. It says 6'6" on the box. He is actually 6'10". Wow. And that's not even as high as he's reaching. That's just as tall as his head. He goes a little bit taller than that. If you go up to his hand, it would be 7'3". Tall as Andre the Giant. That's crazy how tall of an animatronic that this is. So I think it's pretty easy to say that this is the winner of the three animatronics from 2023. This would have been so much better had it had a better chainsaw and a better mask, in my opinion. Now, this one, not just because it's bigger, but because of the attention to detail on the mask, in my opinion, and the chainsaw, even though it's not the right color, it is more realistic than this neon yellow one that we have here. So the Lowe's one comes in third place, the Pretty Lady comes in second place, and the Party City one, at least to me, is a clear-cut choice as far as the best looking Leatherface that's out there. Best of the bunch for 2023. It's going to be a wrap on the Chainsaw animatronics for this year. I'll see you guys next time on the channel. You know, it'd be really cool if they put out a part 3 animatronic, but highly unlikely that that will ever happen. But part 3 is my favorite Leatherface look, and it'd be pretty awesome to see if they ever made an animatronic for it. But at this point, it's wishful thinking. At least we're getting a figure from Trick or Treat Studios here soon. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. See you all next time. So it doesn't quite look like we are making this properly, and I'll tell you why. In fact, I thought I was building this backwards once I started going here. So if you got to this step and think that something isn't right, I was thinking the same thing. This is the only way to connect these. If you look at it, and I thought I did it wrong, but it's actually right. If you look under here where the parts are labeled, if you're matching G to G, you did it. G to G, H to H. It's because his arms are up. And that's entirely what threw me off building this. Because if you look at these directions, and you're following the directions as looking at them, as we scroll down on the sheet, you will see his arms are down. So why are his arms up when you're building this versus his arms being showed as lowered on their directions? Best I can say is these directions are not right. I don't know what they did here, but I've built this twice now following these directions, and both times his arms raise up. So if you think you're building it wrong, I don't think you are. I think you're building it right. It's just that the directions do not give you very good details on the pictures. His arms should be raised up. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. The main thing I wanted to see was if it worked. It did work. Wow, Autumn would hate that. So he does work. His arms go down after you install the arms. So my question is answered. You would think they would be facing down when you built the thing, but it doesn't work that way. All right, well, we're going to compare these now against the other two Leatherfaces that I own, the Lowe's and the Pretty Lady.